Do we need a recap?
No.
We went through the portal, or we met your man.
We are
under Lord Beck's townhouse. He said, "Go screw you guys." Whipped us into some sort of
death dimension.
Who knows what? Like, yeah, anti-life plane. The pale man devil thing.
We fought a undead giant, slayed it mightily.
Oh yeah, that as well.
We
then we went into his tower, which was pretty weird.
Several floors.
Your arm's now rock.
Some people. Oh yeah, Gav's arm is rock, but we have a friend that can sort that out. Yeah.
Maybe.
At the price of a side quest, no doubt.
Yeah.
We just smash his arm off and tattoo Mage Hand onto his arm. So he just.
So we went into the tower. We confronted the guy, fought him, almost killed him outright, and then he changed form to a big skeletal beast and teleported. Did he teleport at the end of the fight? Disappeared?
No, you killed it. You killed it.
But we believe
yeah.
that he probably still exists.
Well, maybe I'll have a roll of religion and arcana checks in a few minutes.
But I now have bone devil.
And then did we leave it there, or did we go back into town?
From what I recall, you
still in the room.
You've remained in the room at the bottom of the stairs. I don't remember you saying, that you were going to go back up the stairs yet.
I think we just left it there with him disappearing. Yeah,
that's exactly
me taking the teeth and giving one to Bostic.
You had a look around the area, so Sam was looking for the ruby necklace that had been used in the transformation.
Yes.
But was unable to find any of the parts of that.
Yeah, and I'm not sure it's because I rolled really badly or if he destroyed it in the spell.
Well, sure, yeah, and I'm not going to tell you.
Exactly.
There wasn't an awful lot else in the room. You had a bottle of wine and whatever else you guys have got written down.
I took the wine.
Yeah, we had a book about rare metals, a book about binding and traveling, abjuration and conjuration magic, and a book of schematics, so automatons, property of Hall of Artificers.
That's exactly right. And there was... Yeah.
I took a tooth of a Fomorian as well, because we killed the Fomorian.
Yeah.
Tooth of a Fomorian,
absolutely. I don't think we had anything else.
Right, sorry, just a short way in the cards.
Okay, I'm done eating. Oh, my gun's fucked. The MP5. There's a grub screw that was keeping the dust cover in alignment, and the grub screw fell out into the gearbox, and
shit.
That noise you guys heard was one of the teeth being stripped.
Yeah.
Oh. So,
amazing.
But one of the gears is totally fucked, and another one is slightly fucked. But yeah, bought some new ones. Should be fun.
Right then. Well,
I acquired Baldur's Gate 3.
Good choice.
Let's say offline version. And yeah, it's quite good. I might buy it.
It is.
Can you guess what my character's called?
I
It
wonder.
can't be as good as my one.
Is it Bostic Bright Iron?
It's Jethro Chadwick.
Yeah, fair.
That's exactly what
I took inspiration from your character and I called mine. What was it, Sam? Leviathan. I can't remember his second name.
Leviathan trouser parts.
Leviathan Thunderpants or something. Yeah.
Brilliant.
The closest thing I could make to Torok was a fucking dragon druid. So,
Yeah.
so it's like, right, let's try that. But there's no
Yeah,
fucking.
I don't know if turtles exist in Forgotten Realms.
There's no thingy either, though.
Yeah.
There's no shepherd. So, bit
No. Yeah. No shepherd druid.
I just played Act 1 a few weeks back, and then I played Act 1 with Sam. And now I realize that I should have just started a one-player game, because me and Sam are going to line up with time off and whatever for ages.
Yeah.
Yep. I've just been playing one.
I tried the druid, and then I switched to fucking try warlock a bit.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with a drow assassin. They got to be sneaky. Maybe throw in a bit of magic.
Built the Gloomstalker Ranger. So haven't been able to fuck around with the get some bonus invisibility when you're in dark, dim light. Bunch of cool stuff for that. So really nice and sneaky boy. Don't need to have a Starion in the party.
Oh yeah. I feel like I used almost all my key. No, I used it all. So, yeah. Wasn't tracking on my phone.
You make a monk as well, yes?
Oh yeah, I just made it the same.
Fair. Perfectly reasonable.
Same stats and everything. It's level.
Yeah.
But taking a leak, back in a sec.
Sure. Yeah. We'll get playing very shortly. Everybody's happy with where they are, with what happened last time we played. It was not so many days ago this time.
It was live.
Yeah.
I made Paladin on my single player.
Mm.
And they're just as okay in this game.
David Von Spinkick.
I just used the fucking auto-gen name because I play myself. It's called Tav.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Tav is, I think, the default name.
Yeah.
My tiefling was called Tav.
More interested in the other people's stories than.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty interesting. I'm pretty sure Shadowheart's going to shag me.
You wish.
Probably. You can romance.
Well, no, she already said that when there's a quiet moment, I'll come and find you in the camp.
Oh, okay.
So I'm pretty sure she'll shag me.
How's everyone doing for health anyway?
Pretty good.
28, 13, 10. Yeah, loads.
The cap's pretty good too.
I think you guys did a bunch of healing at the very end of the session, because I recall a couple of the characters being rather hurt.
You can, yeah, I was, but I held most of it back. Short rest when we get up.
Oh yeah, we short rested, so yeah, I'm pretty good. Oh, that means I do have my key. Never mind.
Oh, did we short rest after the fight, did we?
No. I say short rest when we get out.
Oh, okay.
Suggesting
right, okay.
Not what we have.
Right, whatever. I think I might... Yeah, I'm going to fucking cast level 4 healing spirit in the center of the room and then pass through it twice.
Hey, you don't need to do that. We'll short rest. Be good. But fucking... What's name's house is empty upstairs, not to mention it's across the road from the fucking chapel.
Yeah, once we get to the chapel, we could do a long rest if we needed to.
Yeah.
Not one. But that's why I can still heal up. I'm
if you
at
want.
half health.
Fair.
So yeah, I'm going to cast a healing spirit in the center of the room and pass through it twice, which is 3d6 each time.
Damn.
6. 1, 2. $24 health points regained.
Nice.
Anyone else need to get any heals? There are 4 more passes.
Yeah,
I'm pretty good.
Like, I'm on a third of my hit points.
You said
2
So I
passes.
walked through it twice, yeah.
I managed to duck and weave around that guy last time, so he didn't hit me, I don't think.
I'll take Vic's roll, obviously.
Oh, Gav got fucking 13.
take another one, Gav. I'll take one.
No, that's fine.
You can. There's still 2 charges there. So
Yeah, you take another one. I only need one. So it's
I'm
3
back
dice,
to,
did
like-
you say?
yeah.
Yeah, give us another 3 then, Vic.
That's a roll.
Fucking hell, look at Sam's roll.
That's a much better one. 11.
18. 3 dice.
Alright, mostly back to normal apart from this arm.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
16, so.
Give me who's treating Obadiah here now? Is it
It's a healing
Obadiah
spirit.
is.
okay?
So,
Okay. Gav, I'm not going to get you to do it, but okay. So you're just rocking. Yeah, fine. Yeah, no problem. I'll leave it.
Like I'm assuming, although maybe not, that Obadiah is aware of petrification.
Yeah.
And is aware that like regular healing magic won't work on it. He's not entirely shitting himself that this is permanent, because he knows there's things, or I'm assuming he knows there's things in the world. If that's not the case, let me know. That can't help, like, so.
No, absolutely.
And we do know where there's a sun cleric, so.
That's reasonable. In fact, yeah. Tell you what. Give me an Arcana roll there, Gav. I think will be the one to go for that.
Oh,
There's a 28.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, you're confident.
Natural 20.
You are confident that something like a greater restoration spell will be exactly what you'll need there, and Kilfer, from your impression of him, is likely to have that. However, with a natural 20, right? Give me a second, because I'm going to check this and just read you the fucking things for it. The crack for a greater restoration is a spell that comes with a consumptive gold cost. And I'm going to get that up in front of me just to make absolutely certain. There we are. However, right, so it does
Diamond dust.
Diamond dust worth at least 1,000 gold, 100 gold pieces. Sorry.
we got that bag of jewelry from Bostic.
Yeah, we've got a 300 GP diamond on a plain gold ring from in my bundle of swag.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we have it at some point, yeah.
we've got like a bag of gems as well, wouldn't there? So
you can be confident that you have that, and you're confident that Kilfer is of a level where greater restoration should be well within his reach from what you've seen Kilfer do so far. So yeah, that side of things is going to be absolutely fine. Anyone else? I will give you the choices between Arcana and Religion if you want to have a think about things. Obadiah, you have been reading your book on funeral rites, have you not?
I have indeed. Some light bedtime reading.
Yeah, make this roll with advantage. You can again choose between Arcana and Religion, but let me know which one you're going to go for.
I'm going to go this time with Religion. It's a +5.
Yeah, great.
17.
17 total. Anybody else rolling in on this one?
What's this for? Funeral, right?
Nope. This is I'm invited. This is you were discussing, for example, the situation that you've found yourselves in for the past couple of hours.
I rolled a 1.
A 1 total. Yeah.
Yep. Not too smart.
Jethro, the situation is weird.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's weird as fuck.
Bloody weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
History.
Religion or Arcana. I'll give you the choice, but let me know which one you're going to go for.
Doesn't make a difference. We'll call it Arcana. On and on.
For a total of 9. Yeah.
Arcana. Oh, 7.
Okay. Obadiah, you've been reading about and kind of dwelling on the ideas a little bit lately. Now you are, I think, assuming and I'm happy to confirm quite confidently here that you've stepped out into, you stepped out of the world that you woke up in. And this is not a notion that's never been voiced before, but is kind of accepted within the orthodoxy of Lurich as being impossible. This isn't, there aren't worlds other than this one. That's what makes the world that you live in so divine. It's worthy of knowledge and worship. And
were these ideas posited post the new religions? Would they have been more common in the olden days?
That's likely, yeah.
Cool.
That it's the sort of thing that was dealt with as superstition. People talk about fairy stories as old ideas, but you have been encountering monsters that may have come from fairy stories. You've been encountering beings that could hide in the world, but
or certainly have agents in the world.
Certainly are not of it. And what you witnessed with the man who became the creature in this room, that is unlike anything that kind of existed before. So what you suggested to me when I spoke to you last, Gav, and Obadiah is definitely coming around to this idea here that what you're encountering here is invasive. What you're encountering here is otherworldly, and that is a radical idea. You may have to work hard to convince the more orthodox members of the church and of government that this is what's happening, because they won't go down well in court.
It's the goddamn demons.
Do we have language to put on these things, Jet? Do we know they're devils or demons? Do we have a word that we can place them in, in diegetically?
So yes, so the word that was used in the military phrasing was Cthral. You've got your old tongue translator, and so devil would be the term that would come to more common tongue.
Okay, cool. All right, well, let's get out of this odd place and seal it behind us.
The last thing I'm going to mention, though, based on, because your role was pretty good, is that the folk tales, the stories, the rumors of where these devils are supposed to come from doesn't look like where you are now.
Where are they supposed to come from?
Somewhere more, a place of fire and torture and brimming smoke.
What about the dead plains we were wandering through?
And yeah, that's what you'll see out the window from this room.
But would that be like, the 7 circles of hell, Dante and all that shit? Is that like in this world where parts of hell might be just desolate plains of anti-life?
It's possible. It doesn't match up with the folklore, but that's possible. Cool. You've definitely not, read something that says the opposite, and you've never been to look. Yeah.
This is fair.
This image, though, is going to stick with you. This landscape is going to stick with you, particularly Obadiah. That you've seen. Yeah, it's scratched the inside of your mind's eye. It's going to be an image that's hard to shake, I think.
They'll be back one day. Okay, I'm going to try to get all these guys out of here as quick as we can. And if there is a lock for the door, so using the key, I'm going to lock it.
Okay. Yeah, so you back up into Beck's house. You lock that door.
So we keep the key with us.
Yep.
Yeah. Just look
And
after
what I'm going to do tomorrow is, just in case I forget to say, I'm going to prepare my shift stone spell, or whatever it's called, meld stone. I'm going to come over here and put up a fucking stone wall.
Mm.
Like behind the door or in front of the door.
Burn the building down on it.
You are back out into the market square. Some time has passed, some hours have passed. The sun has moved across the sky, but you have nothing to show that the day is any other than it was when you descended.
Head over towards Kilfer's temple.
The Temple of Midday, yeah. Bostic trembles as he steps out into the square and nods. It all looks familiar.
We're safe now,
All right there,
laddie.
Bostic.
Bostic wasn't particularly hurt, but is
He was
shaken by the experience.
Even though he's the strongest fighter out of all of us.
Told you we'd get you back.
And he got himself back.
Bostic looks to you and says, they taught me how to fight, but I never thought I'd fight anything like that.
Yeah, you held your own pretty well.
Yeah, you did well. Come on back into the temple's light. You'll sleep better. We could do with a rest. Gonna head over into the temple.
Yeah, and the door cracks. And Kelfer looks your way with a look of expectation, perhaps, on his face. There in the room are the couple of locals that had remained there. The goblin trio are gone. They seem to have left.
Good.
Fuck 'em.
But sat on the pew nearest the altar, next to where you left young Caitlin Goss, is the back of the head of your ship's pilot, Nick Dearborn. Captain Dearborn.
Dearborn!
You're such a sore eyes.
Is the rest of him there?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh,
yes.
Thank the gods.
Just the back of his head. Nothing
Yeah,
else.
no face.
I'm gonna womble up to the, stagger up the aisle.
Yeah.
And sit down in the front pew.
Sorry, did you just say womble?
Yeah.
Remember, you can womble over to the aisle. I'm going to clap Dearborn on the back and greet him fondly. Oh,
and
mate.
he smiles and looks you up and down and over at Titus and Tor and then Obadiah and says, fuck, lads, it's worse than it looks.
Oh, we got some stories to tell you, mate. It's pretty bad.
Well, how's Mazenhall? This young lad here, Bostic here is from Mazenhall. He'd like to know.
Oh, yeah. Won't lie, lads, there's a couple of ugly looking spots up the river, but I got as far as the reach and they were none the worse the wear for it. The wind must have been going in the other direction.
Did you see any of the dead on your way? The dead walking?
One or two on the way up. Not so much on the way back down.
Well, that's good. That's good. That means we stopped it, I think.
Does it?
Well, probably coming towards the meteor.
Well, yeah, whatever. I'm going to assume it means we've solved the problem.
Gilfer is nodding as you say that.
Yeah.
But Yeah, met with the court's envoy up in the Reach, and I mean he was glad to hear that there's Kingsmen making it up this far. What's the plan, lads? I don't want to speak for you, but I think they'd be glad if you're up there.
Would they? Huh.
Well, we kind of need to get a proper message down to the king.
We've resolved the situation in this town, but our services could be,
Well, there's still the problem with the impact site.
Yeah.
We don't know what that thing contains.
What it's going to do. Yeah, you're right.
What if it's nothing? Sorry, I'm talking about you guys.
Well, it's nothing. Nothing to worry about.
But
Kilfer, I slapped my stone arm down on the pew.
Oh yeah.
We had a little run under Lord Beck's townhouse. Something from elsewhere came through, and we had to fight it. During us searching it out, this happened to me. Some sort of trap. Can you help?
Kilfer looks down at you. He looks down at your arm, and then up at your face, and his eyes widen. Give me an insight check quickly there, Gav.
$22.
He's spotting your arm and realizing that's what's going on. He's also spotting something else on your face.
Egg.
Is there something else on my face?
There is not a mirror in the room. So it would be difficult for you to tell personally. But you reach up with your hand, and you feel the skin on your forehead is blistering.
Ooh.
Is your familiar around? You could always look through his eyes at your face.
Oh, good thinking. That's what I'll do.
Calling Mortimer into the room. And he looks, and your vision switches to that crystal clear, ultra sharp avian vision, and you can see upon your forehead blisters forming.
What is it, Kilfer?
And something worse, a recognizable tinge and distortion coming into your eyes. The jaundiced yellow that the Fomorian you fought had borne is coming to your face.
Off with his head.
I might have brought this back with us. I hope it's not contagious.
Start holding my breath.
Well, I imagine. Well, should I do a medical rove? What I'm about to say, because I imagine that anything that you could just catch off of some other thing is going to be contagious. It's not like you kissed that thing, is it? So.
Well, if it's a disease, I'm sure Kilfer can help. Can you? I say hopefully.
Come here to the altar.
Head up.
I will need diamonds for this.
What? Diamonds.
The spell with which I might resolve this requires the dust of a diamond. Do you have any sort of thing?
Come on, Tyler. I know you've got him.
I look around, hopefully.
Bostic will lift one of the large and heavy diamonds from his pocket.
I don't read that guy, but we gave him the gold and took the jewels, I believe. So it might be Sam that has it.
No, but did Bostic not find those 5 diamonds by himself?
Bostic found.
Oh, right. Yes, he did. Sorry, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't, because I'm written up.
Good lad.
Yeah. Do you need a whole one? He asks, and Kilfer shakes his head. And,
sounds a lot less Irish than he did the other day.
Yeah, he does.
He looks less ginger too.
Bostic brings his heavy dwarven hammer down hard upon one of the large, thumb-sized diamonds.
Oof.
And shatters it evenly to 4 pieces. And Kelfa snatches one, the smaller of them, and makes a fist so tight you swear you can see light bursting from within it. The light of the day, the light that has permeated this entire place. And he looks down to Obadiah and says, "Which do you want?"
The disease, I think.
We'll
Can't have it affecting my mind.
We'll have to solve the hand another time,
Yeah, I guess so.
You shape fucking stone it every so often and just mold it into what you want.
Mold it into wanking shape.
Massive stone dildo arm.
And he mumbles and speaks a few words about carrying down the light of the sun, bringing up the warmth of the earth, and holding the strength of the wind, and claps his hand upon your forehead. This is a fucking huge hand. It is like being enwrapped in a leather ball around your scalp. But you feel bright light penetrating through your eyelids, though it is through your skull itself. And the light is so intense for a brief moment, there is no room for any other sensation, no room for any other thought. And you realize, as the grip releases, that quite how pervasive, quite how constant the dread you had felt having been in that burnt out, lifeless world had become for you, and how quiet you feel now that that anxiety is lifted.
Well, I'll drop to a knee and put my one good arm on the altar and say just a quick prayer to the light, to the sun, whatever.
And Kelpa will likewise nod and smile. And the rest of you can look now and see that the yellow, the misshapenness of Obadiah's eyes that was only pointed out to you a few seconds ago is now gone. But the stone of the arm remains. Kelfa looks a touch shaken, perhaps, a touch weary. He says, "Well, I can sort the arm tomorrow if you intend to stay the night. Assuming
Bostic. Not sure I'm in any fit state to move just yet."
And
I'll have to decide what to do as well.
Yeah. And Dearborn nods and says, "Look, lads, yeah, I've got letters to take downstream, but whatever you guys want, it's on the royal ticket."
Yeah, it's a pity we don't have 2 boats. Is there anything at the docks, Dearborn? Was there anything if we could take a boat up ourselves and let you go downstream?
What if we think?
Little coracles, little rowing dinghies, but
probably better to ride then.
What if we sent him downstream of Boston?
Well,
to help him get to the king. What we proceeded onwards.
Bostic I'm assuming, would prefer to come with us home. All we could do was make contact
Didn't
with
he say
the Emperor.
he wanted to go? There wasn't much waiting for him in Mazenol.
Bostic had said to you beforehand that he was keen to get out and see the world.
Yeah.
He's not saying much at the minute. I think he's seen rather too much of the world rather too quickly.
Also, you've got the problem of with war on the horizon of this dwarven enclave. Surely he'll want to check in with his people.
Well, I think he's too valuable, Bostic. He's a witness of the events that happened to him.
Yeah, he should go.
If anybody,
so are we, and we're sworn men.
We're not the witness of what happened to him. We didn't see it happen.
Oh, here. Well,
yeah.
So the aftermath, it's good enough.
Exactly. I think we should send Bostic to speak directly as a witness on our behalf.
What does Bostic want to do?
Surely we were given some sort of wax stamp thing so we could send a letter back to the king with a seal on it.
Yeah.
You've got your badges, that would do it?
Yep, yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
I'd rather take Bostic west, west with us, because his word and our friendship with him would lend weight to our being there.
Bostic's eyes are flicking back between the two ideas, between the two.
What do you think, Bostic? Let us know. Come on. Personally, I'd rather not have you speak directly with the king. There's certain politics and diplomacy that needs to be navigated.
Well, you can speak to
no offense, but you're not used to that sort of court life.
It would be good to see my dad again.
Yeah.
Take the night. We'll rest again. About it over.
Yeah, we could all lose.
I'll hand him
rest after
some cheese and bread or something from there.
Yeah.
Tell you what, lads, I'll pen up a letter for Genevieve. Assuming that's who we're trusting.
She's our contact, as it were.
Yes, but now we know about the consortium in fucking inverted commas.
Oh, the fucking artificers.
We have no, the consortium of
those guys.
Other worldlies that are, we probably have to keep an eye on certain aspects of the Artificers Guild, as well as people who have maybe risen to power quite recently. And Genevieve is quite young compared to a lot of the others. It had crossed my mind that she may have benefited recently in the past from help from elsewhere.
Well, if that's the case, who can we trust in the King's Court? We don't know any of them, any of the rest of them.
No, and if we address something to the king, it'll surely pass through a handful of hands before it reaches him.
Mm-hmm.
The only way
there was the man that sent us to the Artificers Guilds. What was his name?
The priest, was it?
Yes, I believe it was. And he was an old, a fervent believer in the new religions.
So in terms of individuals that you've met and made contact with inside the palace, Genevieve has been your kind of primary point of contact, and she's kind of just a kind of I'm trying to think of the term.
Father
that's good. Father Viska was the cleric whose domain had been to do with kind of death and funeral rites. That's where you got your book from, Obadiah, but now seems to be mainly just based in the court. And another wizard.
How far do you reckon we could get by flight towards either one of these places in an hour?
In an hour?
Fuck all.
Yeah, an hour. An hour
is 80.
Yeah.
It's like 10 miles, if even.
Yeah.
Right,
and we're hundreds of miles.
Just curious, because I can summon 2 giant eagles to carry pretty much the entire party.
No, I'll just write a letter explaining everything. And I think I won't leave anything out. I'll mention the other deity, the other creature. Maybe I won't use the word deity, but he will have admitted or confessed that he's from another plane. I will say we traveled there and battled him. And I will mention that he works with others, possibly the creature responsible for the comet, and that they seek to influence the rich and or powerful of the kingdom. And I will use the old terms like Kuthral as best I can.
Yeah.
How long would it take me by flight to get back to High Lurry?
So you've been.
We're like a
You've
week
been days
travel
upriver,
by
wasn't it?
boat.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't a week.
It was it 3 days by boat? You left in the middle of the night?
Oh no, yeah, it was a week from when we started to High Lurry.
Yeah.
Well, how long?
I think it was 3 days, wasn't it? Upriver on boat.
Yeah. It was 2 nights, sure.
Yeah. Now you can't fly continuously, even if you're in wild shape like that, because so you are going to need to rest and recover overnight, or what have you. But let's assume you're spending. How long do your wild shapes last? Is it 4 hours now?
So I could get 8 hours of wild shape in a day.
8 hours of wild shape.
And then a short rest would recover that as well.
So yeah, you could do quite a bit, couldn't you?
Yeah, you can cover it. You can cover a fair bit. So if you were able to fly all day, continuously like that, you could probably do the whole thing in 2 days. I think would be reliable there.
What about to Larson and back, where the orc captain is?
To Lurston, that's more like a day's travel.
I could then,
probably
if you wanted
less,
to write a letter up, fly to there, give it to the captain matey, and then fly back.
What, and take Dearborn back upriver? He's going down anyway. He'll be there in the same time.
How long will it take us to ride to Mazenhall? Or walk?
Ride to Mazenhall? Well, you ride. Yeah.
We can ride horses for 2 hours. We can ride horses for 2 hours. I can summon us horses if we need horses for an hour at a time.
Because that might be a better use, just giving Dearborn the.
I think so.
Fucking letter and then just ride to Mazenhall ourselves.
So Dearborn has been as far as Bedden Reach, which is the pink spot that I've just put down on the map there. That's taken him, yeah, absolutely. But you consider when he dropped you off 2 nights in that time, but he's been up and back again in that time.
So okay, that's not too far. So we could do that on foot.
It's almost as far as High Lurry.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not really. No, if you look at the map.
We could use my wild shape in a way of we find a cart, I turn wild shape, and then we just ride a cart up. I've got my fucking egg to worry about as well.
You do.
Right. Okay. So I'm gonna pen up the letter and seal it, wax seal it. I'm gonna hand it to Dearborn. I'm gonna explain what has happened in full, I think, unless there's anything any of the other guys can shout out about what we want to maybe withhold. And I'm going to ask that reinforcements be sent to north of the Beck, searching out. I'll give a description of where the comet has landed.
Crew needs to be sent.
And I'm going to ask for them to include clerics, as there is undead in the area, and a wizard or two.
Yeah.
Somebody knowledgeable in the Arcana.
What conclusions do you intend to include with regard to the comet? Having investigated the comet.
Having investigated the comet, we found it swarmed by hundreds of villagers who had been turned to undeath by this creature that possessed young lady Caitlin Goss.
Conclude that she wasn't possessed.
Shh, that's our defense.
Okay. Yeah, in case he finds out about it.
Yeah.
We destroyed those that we could, but there are still some in the area. The villages along the route have been entirely decimated. Lady Caitlin's body lies preserved in the Church of the Midday Light in Ansel, or wherever it is.
Yep.
The comet needs to be protected, or what it contains need to be destroyed. We don't know how to do this. And I'll say, like, we prepare to go upriver to Mazenhall to check with, is the dwarven settlement, is it like a city-state within a kingdom? Is it beholden to Hyluri? Is it part of the kingdom of Lurich?
Somewhere in between the two. Now, what you've got across the nation is a degree of feudalism where local lords have a decent amount of power, but they are under the banner of the king. And Mazenol is similar to that. It has a degree more independence because it has quite a high population for its amount of space. It's quite densely populated.
It's like a
And so,
city.
having come from Porthmarn has local lords who handle most of the local governance. Having gone through Shymeet in Penvaden and Lurston, and even being in Ansel, these places have local lords who handle most of the civic matters. And Mazenol is not different than that you know of. It's just that the customs and the patterns there are a little different again to what you will find on surface land towns and cities.
Okay, so in that case, I'll put something in that, like, we feel we need to go to Mazenhall to get the expertise of the Dwarf Lords to tackle the comet problem.
Sure. Okay.
Maybe there's metallurgy, geology, whatever. We'll come back and we'll try crack this thing open and destroy whatever's in it.
Yeah.
Plus, we'll probably want to bring knowledge of what's happened in their east to them. Hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah, with the aim of reporting any nearby news. Okay, that's everything going in there.
Yeah. Last thing, I'll request any word sent from Lord Goss to us in Hyluri could be forwarded on to us.
Yeah, understood. Yeah.
Anything else, guys?
You're not going to request a message be sent to him about Caitlin?
I think it's probably best done in person.
Yeah. Fair.
Maybe. Like, the body's going to remain here for 2 weeks. Is that correct?
Kilpa can keep doing the ritual,
Okay.
for as long as is needed, although it would
we
polite
won't be
to have her interred.
We won't be gone that long. We hope we won't be gone that long. A week at most.
It'll be more than 2 weeks before anything's starting to resemble normal services in Ansel again, that's for certain.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Decades.
Right, well, I'm all for setting off in the morning.
Yeah. Sure.
Well, a long rest then, isn't it?
Yes.
Sleep.
I'll take the first watch.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, you're getting just into the afternoons. You're going to be around for several hours. Dearborn says then, what's your plan then? Are you coming with me? Am I taking you back upriver?
No, Dearborn, I think you go downriver to the king with our message.
Gotcha.
You still have Ramiel with you?
Yep, me and Rami. Yep, ship shape, ready to rock.
Good.
Tight as
We're gonna go up to. Oh, it's a Port Martin saying.
Oh.
We're going up to Mazin Hall. We're going to check in, and we're going to come back to the side of the comet to check it out. In this letter, I've requested that somebody in the King's Court sends a detachment up here. This place needs to be protected. Not Ansel, not the town, but the site of the crash to the north.
Gotcha.
I hope it explains everything. If not, I believe a wizard in the King's employ should be able to find me with this. And I'm going to take off my family ring and hand it to Dearborn.
Gotcha. Okay.
You're a wizard, Harry.
Here's a wizard, Gary. Right. Well, I'm putting my feet up and having food and resting for the rest of the day. I got some reading to do about rare metals as well.
Yep.
And you know what I'm going to do, actually? I'm going to practice a couple of cantrips with just my left hand.
Aha, good idea.
I'll help tidy up the bodies if Kilfer needs assistance with that, if he hasn't done it already in the town.
Back in a sec.
He has not been doing that. Kilfer has not been doing that at all. Yeah. All right, let's have a think about, if Jethro's going to do some of that, if anybody's got anything else, I'm going to take a piss. Dearborn is going to tap you on the shoulder, Tor, and ask to borrow you for a few minutes then, in that case. And I'll deal with that when we get back. So I'll see you in a moment. Yeah.
I'm going to turn my fan on for 2 minutes and mute on mic.
Yeah, I have 2 fans on right now. It's fucking hot.
I didn't look at the weather, and I decided to go do some more gardening at my dad's house. Made it like an hour and a half, and I was just dead.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I bought this yesterday.
You're going to start driving like an asshole?
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't already.
Fair. I don't know. I drove with Jed on Sunday, so.
Right back.
In a week Saturday.
Is it new or second hand?
Yeah, it's one owner.
What?
One owner from you. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Think about actually, you went straight into Beck's house straight after doing the thing, so it probably is getting on for evening now.
Yeah, you said it was mid-afternoon if I remember right last time.
Yes, I do. I do remember that. Yeah.
But I want to do a thing, but I'll wait for you to finish what we're doing with the druid.
Dearborn taps you on the shoulder, Tor. Says, come and have a walk with me then. We'll work out what we're going to do with this.
If you brought it up to the thing, I'll just quite happily take it with me.
Well, not easy to lift, you know?
Well, is it down in the boat still, is it?
Still in the belly of the boat. Kept it nice and warm, like you said, nice and soft.
Ah, good man. Good man.
Didn't let it rock around too much or anything like that.
That's all right. Well,
We've had to take on a lot of coal, and
It's alright. Kind of take it with me anyway. We're heading up north on it, or upriver at least. So I will go to the boat with him, and I will use my last wild shape before we rest to turn into an ape, so I can carry the fucking thing back.
neat. Okay. And you pick up the owlbear egg. This barrel-sized egg that you wrap your ape arms around and waddle back up towards the Temple of Midday. And it does feel warm, as though it has been well treated for the time that you've had it. You feel the weight of the thing. It's heavier now than when you lifted it last. It's got a different kind of inertia, a different kind of balance to it. It doesn't feel as though it's going to spin or shift in any particular way. And this is, this bodes well, based on what you might expect.
Well, I assume these turtle people fucking lay eggs themselves, so I assume you would know.
You know a little bit about eggs, yeah.
A little bit. But a turtle egg would be very different to a owlbear egg, for sure.
Yeah.
Right. Carry this back up the fucking hill then. Or wherever I'm carrying it from.
And Jethro, where you are collecting and piling shattered, wounded corpses, bringing them to the center of the Ansel Square, where a bonfire had been lit days ago. And now you might expect a pyre. And a few are around, but you know this town will be full.
I'll do my best. I'll ask Kilfer to say a prayer over the corpses or something, because I'm not a practicing religious man.
Jethro, make me a perception check, regardless.
Ooh. That was rubbish. 7. 11?
11 total, yeah, fine. Yeah, you're going through. And you're aware that the town is large. There are houses throughout the town, but you just pick up those in the streets. There are lots here in the city square. Lots of bodies. More so than just what Kilfer dashed ahead of you. And you know, hundreds more still up around the comet.
Once I've got the egg back, I want to go and find a cart as well.
Yeah, sure, yeah. I'm not going to make you roll something. You can find a small cart. Find a house that has a stable and find a small cart there.
Very nice.
There is a dead horse chewed on at the neck. In the pen, but the cart unhooks and you're able to pull it through the streets. Do you want something small just to carry the egg in, or something that people can ride in?
Big enough for the lads to ride in.
Yeah, sure, yeah, you can find something like that.
I can fucking wild shape into a horse tomorrow and, pull the fucking thing.
Just go for it.
Yeah.
Send
or if need be, I can summon 4 horses. We can stook them up and give it a proper ride.
Like the wind.
Yeah.
You only get an hour of it, but, surely they move faster if you've got 4 of them spreading the load.
Sam, what did Titus want to do?
Go for a wander alone.
Okay.
if everyone's doing their things, for example, needs to be buried, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I just want to get from the wander alone around the town square. Maybe a discussion.
Okay. Titus steals himself off, waits for a moment when people are distracted, and has a little wander through the town. And the evening is turning out to be quintessentially summery. You can imagine on these streets, tables being set outside, people sat with cups of beer or glasses of wine, with meals. Children running and playing through the alleyways. But it's quite...
As I wander, thinking about that, I will just say outwardly, it wouldn't be a bad village if it wasn't the stench of death.
And the response comes back. I'd have thought you were accustomed to that stench by now. But I agree, it's not a pleasant smell.
Accustomed? No. I usually leave them while they're still warm. These things are cold.
You're right, though. We can do so much for the people of this land. Towns like this can be very just prosperous. Now imagine a place like this run with the efficiency of one of your Shuni's provinces. Just imagine.
Beautiful. So, Jed.
Yes.
No, not the man. What was the weird thing, the demony thing called? Did we get his name before we kill him? I think he introduced himself.
You didn't ask a name. If I recall.
Did we not?
You may have asked, but I don't think he actually gave it, at least.
Okay.
I think there were several questions of what are you?
Yeah.
But I don't recall a who.
That's an interesting character the other day. Seems he'd been locked away by the mayor. Is it the mayor? Is that what we're calling him?
The Lord.
This town?
Yeah.
Lord. Lord of this town, Beck.
Oh.
Do you know him?
And your friend, a few steps behind you, just out of the corner of your eyes, he sighs and says, "So, what a fate to fall anybody."
Imprisoned, indeed.
My heart goes out to him.
Well,
here's
the thing.
The voice is not entirely sad.
I know.
Yeah.
So, here's the thing. He was toying with us, trying to make a deal. Similar to the one myself and you have. A deal for freedom. But the toying, I guess, put me in a bad mood, let alone my compadres, whatever. Comrades. So that man is dead. That
Dead?
thing. Indeed. I have a feeling you might have known him. Spoke of business partners.
Well, Titus, I must congratulate you on such a feat if that's what you've achieved, and I've no reason to doubt you on this. You're not one for brashness or boldness or overstatement. All this means to me is that I am very glad indeed that you and I are friends after all. that we understand one another.
Did you know with him? Absolutely.
Well, I've met a number of people on my travels.
It's not so much a person.
I'm
sure he was descended from one of the 9 houses in this.
9 of them that's a classic number. Never bothered to count myself. But if it means that much to you, then I must confirm, yes, I think I know to whom you are referring.
I must ask, when struck with the blade, it seemed to do considerable damage to him. Was he I was trying to think of a smarter word than that, but I can't.
The blade that you carry. Oh yes, Titus. No, that will. You did the right thing there, wielding against him. It'll be. You know that blade is imbued with a certain something of my essence, and therefore any enemy of yours is an enemy of mine, naturally, and any enemy of mine will be well and truly struck by it. You've done the right thing. Let me promise you that. And I hear you may be travelling upriver yet further.
Indeed. I think the group has finally seen sense.
That's good. You'll find what you're looking for there. As I say, just follow your nose. It'll come to you. I'll make sure of it.
Well, I'm glad we're rid of him.
Oh, indeed. We don't want too many cooks spoil the broth and all that.
That's a question for you before you go. He appears to have afflicted one of my comrades with some sort of stone-turning illness. So obviously, I don't know what it is, so I'm just going to say that. Any ideas of how to stop such a thing?
Oh, that's a simple trifle. Your new friend, the priest, will get to that in the morning, I'm sure. He needs a little rest himself from time to time, that hulk of a man.
Okay, as long as it's true, that's good.
Right. And by the same token, you really are quite shrewd, Titus. You've had a knack for not putting your hand into spots where you can't see. That'll serve you well.
Good. Thank you. Have a good night. And I'll wander off.
See you soon, my friend. And you walk a little further, and you can hear the footsteps behind you dying off. You're alone again, you're sure. But give me a perception check nonetheless.
Bostic, he's watching me. Oh yeah, there you go, Joe.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, lovely. The town is not as quiet, perhaps, as you thought it was. You've wandered a little further. And you've come to a part of a house. The outer wall is splashed with what you would guess was soot from a fire, but the roof is still intact. The local buildings are good and well. It is dashed with black dust. But you can hear a sobbing from within.
Ooh. Who goes there?
And you'll call out, and the sobbing stops, and there's a scrabbling and a, hello? Is somebody there?
Yes. What's your name? Come out. It's safe.
The door to the house cracks. It's a wooden stable door. And a woman opens the door. She is wearing midsummer's colours. The blue and the red and the white tattered robes. And all down the front of her dress is blood. Dried and crackly and rust brown, but unmistakable. You've seen it enough times now. And her face is streaked with tears. She looks hungry. But she's upright and she's lucid.
Tell me, how much did you hear of me speaking to my friend?
What? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what's happened. I don't know what's going on.
Inside.
Yeah, sure, yeah. Yeah.
Something.
She looks wrapped with grief. She doesn't look as though she's in a position to lie to you. You walked on a little further from your conversation to hear this, and she was crying quite loudly.
Okay, good. I just wanted to check because I was about to go. Right.
Yeah, sure.
Come with me. Come to the church. There's safety. The priest is alive. Here, take my hand.
Her hands tremble, but she reaches forward. Now, you rolled quite high on your perception test. Mm-hmm. The last vestiges of evening light, it is getting darker inside now, but you catch a view through the door into the kitchen where the door is opened. And you see a pair of legs that are small enough, dressed in a way that they likely belong to a child, limp on the floor.
Oof.
Okay.
The woman introduces herself as Penny.
Oh, fucking Penny. All right. I am Titus. It looks like you're not kind of looking through the door. Since you didn't have a very good last few days.
I don't know what day is it?
I'll tell her the day.
Yeah, and her face.
Day.
You know, it's what is it? 5 days after Midsummer.
Yeah, after the call, yeah.
Yeah, and you've been in Lurich long enough now to know that's more or less how things are tracked. It's the 5th day of summer.
Mm-hmm.
5 days? Oh, 6 now?
Have you been in here the whole time? You remember?
I don't know. Do I remember? I don't know. The door was locked. It must have been me. I'm not sure.
Check her over with my eyeballs to see if there's any injuries.
You don't see any.
21.
You don't see any injuries on her.
It's medicine.
The blood is starting at her chin and running down to her mid-chest.
Oh dear.
There's some on her hands. That's similar. Days old, congealment and rust red. There's some on her feet, where she may have stood in it. She looks thin, she looks dehydrated.
Come with me. Let's get you to the church. And I'll start leading you.
Yeah. And the town isn't so big that you can't find your way back to the temple of midday quickly and easily.
I found this one in a burnt house. Her name's Penny. Sharp as I could.
Yeah. The house was not burnt, Sam. I'll add to you there. It was, coated in what you might have assumed was soot if you didn't know better. But
sorry, I missed that completely because you suggested it was burnt, and you said the roof was okay, so I just thought it was slightly burnt. Sorry.
No, it is.
Right,
it is not actually burnt, but it is.
That is the dust from the asteroid guy.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Well, I will probably know exactly what that is because I saw it in the room first.
Yes, you've seen a fair bit of that already now.
Yeah. Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Who's around?
Busy with bodies. I think everybody's made it back by now. It's getting on for the evening. Jethro has been able to gather enough wood to build together a funeral pyre with Kilfer's help.
Mm-hmm.
I'll ask her if they've done that because they'll see it. I said, would you like me to go and get the child? Say farewell.
Her jaw trembles. She holds her hands up to her face. She cannot look at you, but behind her hands she nods.
Okay. I'll go get the child. Back in 5 minutes, lads.
And you make your way back to Penny's house. Those of you who are at the temple, one of the women that has been waiting there for a few days, you'll have been introduced. Her name is Agnes. Comes out and puts an arm and a blanket around Penny's shoulders. Titus comes back a few minutes later holding
Sorry, before I come back.
Yeah.
Can I let that medicine roll go on?
Yeah.
21. On the child.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Look, before I come back.
Yeah. You find on Penny's kitchen floor spilled blood. That medicine roll was pretty good. You can tell that this child's neck has been bitten open, probably by a person's teeth.
Oh.
No turning back, boys. I'm turning human again.
Well, if we've cured the thing in this town, she might have been alive when that happened. She might have been unalive when that happened.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Skinny, frail, dehydrated, covered in blood.
The kid is not. You do not find a speck of black dust on the child.
Oof.
Yeah, I'll bring him back. Maybe I'll cover a blanket or something in the house. Just to make it better. And when I come back, I will search for Obadiah.
Yeah. Yeah, what do you think?
Just resting in the corner.
Yeah, you've stayed at the temple and you're reading about metallurgy.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what I can get you to roll on this, but it shouldn't take you too long. Give me a roll and add your intelligence, just flat, just straight up.
$16.
You're trying to find out about the interesting ore that you found in the Smiths, I think, right?
Yes, the blue stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of blued, smoky black. And you're leafing through it. And it's a small entry, but this is notable enough to have been, it's recorded as, the Smith's favourite. It is a popular metal for those that can get it, but not easily available. It is likely meteorite. Which you have. So, you will recall underneath the staircase in the Smith where Bostic work, he found some iron, he found some silver, he found some gold, and he found 2 ingots of a kind of smoky black-blue metal. You based on what you can read here, you can surmise that this is meteorite, sky iron, whatever you would like to call it.
Dwarf folks in Mazal will be able to rig up something with that.
And do I know if anything regarding like magical properties of it, or like does it take to magic better than regular iron, anything like that?
It does entirely that, yes. For those who are skilled and capable in making magical items, this is certainly their preferred metal.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think that's all I'm going to tell you for the moment.
It's fine.
Yeah, but Jethro and Kelfer have been putting together a funeral pyre. Tor has brought around a cart, lined it with a little straw, and packed in his keg-sized owlbear egg. Titus, back from his stroll, carries in his arms a mutilated infant, nearly the size of himself.
Yeah, I'm going to walk straight to Obadiah. And
Straight through to Obadiah, yeah?
Quietly put down the child and say, you should see this. And regale the... I found her in her house. The door was closed. She was sobbing. Blah, blah, blah. The child's been bitten. She's covered in blood. I think she was one of the other.
Interesting. I'll take a look over the child just to confirm. And provided I find the same reactions, I'll refer him to Kilfer. I think Kilfer might want to speak to the child's mother.
Yeah, you find nothing new, I don't think, unless you'd like to make a roll.
Well, just once I confirm it's this, like, human teeth biting into a neck or whatever.
I definitely.
It's a medicine roll anyway, for shits and giggles. It's only an 8.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You certainly don't find
wound.
anything to contradict Titus's story.
Well, the woman might be dangerous. Maybe mention it to Kilfer. He'll be in a better condition. There might be some evil lurking in this town still.
I'll go. I'll leave the body there. I wander over to Kilfer and say, private, we can take the child. Have a discussion.
And he comes to it. Checks the wound quickly. Nods as you tell the same story. Looks over to Penny with a piteous look upon his face. He says, "Yep. She won't be the only one."
These she turned and just come back again.
I have no doubt. And suddenly I'm aware of how sour our success is. The persistence of horror over the past few days will stay with those of us who breathe now sometime.
Well,
she is in the best place that she can be.
I suppose we can say some prayers for the boy. We let this funeral pyre.
Please go to it.
Say prayers.
Yeah. Kilfer stands a few feet away from the pyre and gestures you to bring this one last body over and lay it onto a particular slab. Some of the wood looks very distinctly like some of it is broken up horse carts. Some of it may well have been pulled from houses There is broken up table and furniture, but also perhaps even supporting beams, sections of thatch, and piles of processed firewood. The remains of the midsummer bonfire have been amalgamated and placed in, and there is tinder around the place. Culper rubs his hands and says, "With this fire we commit thee to the air, and to the rains, and to the earth, and that you may grow yet, and be life once more." And a burst of fire and light pops from his hands, and the pyre lights blindingly bright for a second, like a flare has gone off with it, and the bodies burn. And Penny weeps aloud.
I'd press F to
And
pay
those-
respects.
Yep.
I summon a mage hand and stroke her hair with it.
Ooh.
Pervert.
I didn't say witcher. Terms.
And the night draws in.
Yeah, can I just tinker in as well? Sorry, Jeff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Take yourselves to the long rest. Dearborn has gone downstream. Bostic is staying with you.
Lovely.
What was I using for this? Tinker tools. Tax efficiency. $16, Judge.
Sounds good.
That was a pass, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think a 13 is a pass for you making things. What are you working on now?
Nice.
Sounds good.
You know. Sorry. What a grenade. Yeah, that was 16. So. Still got 2 to go. It won't be till Mazenall, I would have thought.
And the fire burns for some time beneath the evening sky. The summer night is short yet, but clouds roll in, and before long it is cold, with rain threatened. And eventually, the people from the outside turn to go back into the temple, into this perpetual light itself, dimmed and made more gentle, perhaps, for the night time, and find places to sleep. Penny joins the other refugees now, and you know, as Kilper remarked, she will not be the only one. Are you all sleeping? Are you all doing anything more?
No, just gonna sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, sleeps.
And morning comes early. And the inside feels brighter yet more. And for the first time in a couple of days, you hear birdsong over the crackling of the fire. And another noise, a little movement outdoors. And when you stand to look, you see sheep. 4 of them. Wandering through the town streets. Into the city square. And away again. But what is your plan for the day? What would you all like to do?
I imagine Gav would like to get his arm back.
Yeah, part one.
I'm going to start by waking early. And I'm going to go across to the Beck house. And in front of the door, I am going to create a stone wall using stone shape.
Yeah.
You're not going to block the cellar door?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then getting... Yeah. I'm going to try and kind of do this without Kilfer seeing me, if Kilfer's not up. If he is, whatever.
You haven't seen Kilfer yet this day, at least.
All right. Well, I'll go across and then do that. And then get back and, just do a regular morning. Good. I'll have my letter already written from the night before for Dearborn, so I'll make sure he has it.
Yeah. It takes you a moment to suss the spell. When you'd practiced it in the past, you'd thought it would be done with 2 hands, but there's something about the flick and the weight in the arms that the spell normally dictates that feels appropriate here. And once you've got it, you've certainly got it. And you've enough strength in your shoulders and enough weight in your left hand, which is still flesh, to feel the stone within the earth beneath your feet and bring it up and crack through the floorboards and smear a barrier of stone and mud against the internal wall inside the Beck house, across that cellar door. And then you leave. And by the time you come back, Kilfer is up and cracking wise and attending to people, passing out water and fruit.
Morning.
And he greets he matches your greeting. He says, "Well, I say you've earned another round of treatment. Might I indulge you before you are on your way?"
If you're up to it, yeah. Thank you.
Well, I hope Bostic will spare us another shard of his clear and valuable. Which Bostic is happy to do. He says distinctly, "Well, I've got so much, and it would feel a little mean to keep it all away."
Well, I'm sure it's enough to set yourself up with your own practice, should that's what you want, Bostic.
I think, yeah, I could buy a whole smithy with everything that you've given me in the past few days, but I wonder whether I'll ever want to stoke coals again with what I know now.
Well, there's work for a strong arm in this world, no matter what it lends itself to in the next few years. And if you want to stay by our side, you'd be more than welcome.
Bostic nods. Kilfer grips the shard of diamond again, repeats the practice, repeats the crushing of this shard into dust, and grasps you by that fleshy part of your shoulder in his left hand and says the words again, the words, and this time a tongue that you are not sure you understand at all, and smears his right hand, which holds the dust, down your arm. And this is quite painful. This is... Obadiah will have had, in the worst of winters, even living in the south, those cold moments where your hands have gone past all feeling, where your fingertips are beyond numb and you could not tie a knot with your eyes open, staring at it, that you've done 100 times before, and then the pain as the blood rushes back into them. That needle, that hot needle feeling. That is what you have here, all down your arm. And the stone does not disappear, not instantly. But after a moment, Kilfer, still holding this stone limb, bends your wrist, bends your elbow, wraps his football-sized hand around your fist and clutches the fingers, and then peels from them the brass doorknob, letting it land heavily on the floor. And then brushes his hand again, and like wet sand or dried on mud, he brushes away the last veneer of horrid stone, and your baby pink hairless arm, atrophied or grown new, is underneath. It feels as strong as you remember, and you take a moment.
Gods.
Not that strong then.
Certainly not as strong as some people he knows.
Fucking bastard, yeah.
And Culper nods and says, when you are at Bedden Reach, you may wish to withhold certain details about the final passing of the mayor.
What? The slavery part? Or the fact that the orcs put him down?
I'll not interfere.
Perhaps we just say that he was killed by the dead.
That would be a reasonable and
diplomatic solution.
Precisely.
Well, I don't need to worry about that. I'll speak to Orvish, and we'll have good old Bostic here with us, so we'll hopefully be arriving in decent stead.
I speak to Orvish too, for some reason.
Right, well, we should probably get going. We'll start packing up our things, and we'll get a overland travel, so it'll take a while.
Thank you for all you've done, Kilfer. If we can, we'll visit on the way back down. See how you're going.
And he nods deeply and says, I'm going nowhere. I'll be here again when you call.
Kilford, if you could maybe take a look in at the comet to the north. It seemed to be gathering the dead over the last 5 days. And while we put many of them to the torch, thanks to Turok and his magics, we don't know if they'll still be gathering. Maybe even look from a distance if it's too dangerous.
If I feel up for venturing that far, I'll have a look.
Thank you.
All right. Well,
and thank you all, and travel well.
Well, if there's anything else we've got to do here, I suggest we get moving. It's
Yep.
early enough. We should have a full day of travel.
Yep.
Okay. So,
Goodbye, Penny. Good luck.
the woman is awake and looking a bit more steady, less distraught than when you last saw her, but she isn't speaking very much.
Perhaps she would like to leave this place? Go with Dearborn? Just suggesting.
That city
Bad
ain't no
memories?
place for a country woman, maybe.
I don't know.
But stay together, whatever you do, folks. Go out into the town and see if you can find more.
Survivors, yes.
Right, so, Kilfer, in a week or so, we'll hope to return. But if we don't, we'll try send message. And if not, stay safe. Do your best for these people.
I hope you find more.
And the cleric stands and walks you to the door.
You coming, Bostic?
Bostic nods eagerly. He's happy to go along now.
Hell yeah.
Positively expressive for a dwarf. Effusive.
Ooh.
And clambers up into the cart.
So, Turok, how are we doing this? Turok? Tor?
He's dead!
Myself.
He died in his sleep.
I'm going to turn into a war horse or any sort of horse and pull the cart, I guess.
Into a horse, yeah. Wild shape.
Big fatty Clydesdale.
Hell yeah.
Alright. Well, I'll make sure there's enough straw on the back of that cart so I can fucking lie down and read my book.
I'll look around in the cart for a whip.
There is not a whip, but you can take a moment getting.
I mean, I've got a whip with a sharp dart on the end.
Faster, turtle, faster.
Oh god, yeah, we picked a turtle to pull us along.
You'll have to take a moment getting the bridle and the tack on harness around Tor's shoulders. The torse, so to speak.
The hortle.
Yeah.
I think it sounds lucky I didn't take polymorph as a spell and just transform one of you bastards into the horse and make you fucking take
I was down for walking, bro.
In mine and Gav's the campaign of Baldur's Gate so far, I've turned into a sheep twice from wild magic.
Excellent. Yeah, great.
Jed, I'm also gonna be mulling over the concept of melding this bluish sky metal into either a set of bracers or rings or something like that.
Yep.
That I may imbue with a sort of chill touch, or possibly maybe not Toll the Dead, but some sort of damaging magic, or some sort of magic that may aid Jethro.
Okay.
So I'm irrelevant of what magic has been cast on it, I'm kind of working on all the other background material as a way to start creating a magical item.
You got like you got vampiric touch, haven't you? So it heals you when you do
Yeah,
damage.
but that's a 3rd level spell. It might be beyond my abilities to make into a magical item. I don't know.
That would make Jeffro like invincible.
Jeffro heals on punch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the other thing I was thinking was giving him Misty Step. So binding, making, I don't know, like boots or something out of these that like once a day or whatever amount of times a day gives him Misty Step.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know, enhance ability. I've got options, so I'm just kind of weighing them up at the moment.
Yeah. What I'll say, Gav, try and make it a spell that you know.
Yeah, that's all I'm doing.
And we'll
discuss it another time.
Yeah. If it's a cantrip effect, so something like Shocking Grasp. If we wanted to say, if Jethro is wearing these braces and he deals an unarmed strike, it also is a Shocking Grasp. I think that would be quite cool. And I was thinking
not even the full effect of the cantrip.
Yeah.
So like instead of like Toll the Dead's obviously very detrimental, but if it was something along the lines of Chill Touch, which usually does 2d8 damage, we have to hit you have to roll an attack to hit. It's also range, but I might think maybe that would give him a bonus d4 damage or something like along those lines.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll work that out. Come to me with an idea, if you'd like, or otherwise I'm happy to kind of hash that out with you. Cantrips, I think.
Do the damage dice off of a roll. Make it totally random. How good he does it. So if you roll like a 20 or something.
Yeah, it does more damage. Yeah.
That's a reasonable idea. If we get to the point, if you've settled on something, we'll do an Arcana check to kind of for the enchantment. How does that sound to you, Gav?
Yeah, on some sort of sliding scale. I'll come up. We'll talk about it another time.
Yeah. The other thing I can think about then is resources, because we could say you could invest one of the ingots. You've got 2 ingots.
I do have 2 ingots. Yeah.
You've got 2 ingots. You could invest one of the ingots in having a limited effect, or both of them into having like a full spell effect, or something like that. That would be probably a good way of working that out. If you wanted to save one either to sell or to make into a further item further down the line, then that would be a good way of doing that. But yeah, I think I'm willing to say that. What cantrips do you know at the minute? I know you've got Toll the Dead.
Chill Touch, Toll the Dead, Light and Mending.
Yeah,
but
okay.
I have been unaware of how to learn more, and some of the paragraphs I've read in creation would suggest that a wizard at a certain level knows all the cantrips.
Let's have a look.
But I don't know if that's the case. But again, it's details I don't need to know now, so let's not tie up game time with it.
Yeah, I know.
We can worry about it later.
Wizards do gain more cantrips as they go on, but
I thought they just knew all of them by a certain level. But now they've introduced a shitload more, so I don't know.
No, so
if that's too extreme.
On the wizard class table, you've got cantrips known as one of the columns. So you go up to. So you've learned a new one at 4th level.
No, I've still only got 4.
Oh yeah, but you start with 3.
Sorry.
Okay.
And you go to 4.
Good for you.
Yeah, sorry.
How was that for you?
Satisfying.
Good.
I thought I needed to wait, and then turned into poop. So
reasonable.
You know how it is.
Yeah.
I forgot to roll for the Sif Damser, but I only used it once, so I'm.
Yeah, that'll recharge then.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Right. What did I miss? Last 3 minutes or so.
We've been discussing. Obadiah has a mindset of building a magical item specifically for Jethro.
Oh.
Out of the meteorite ingot.
Okay.
But we're working out what we'd like to do. And basically, what I've said to Gav is, you've got 2 ingots. you can invest one of those ingots in an item for Jethro that is like a limited version of one of the spells that Obadiah knows.
Oh,
Or, yeah, you can invest both of those and create an item that, yeah, let's, we can create something fun. And I've got some guidance on, good and interesting magical items that, let me know what you'd like to do roughly or how you'd like to flavor of it. And we'll work that out because it's a fun thing to do. If you'd like, give me some rough ideas and I can come back with an item.
Yeah, cool.
Because I like doing that. It's a fun thing to do.
I think I'll stay
I've
out
built
of
a couple
this.
of homebrew items recently.
Just,
yeah.
Whatever
I'll
you
just
decide
present
to
you
me,
with it.
whatever you build for me, I will accept.
But yeah, and Gav, to answer the other question about cantrips, you'll learn another cantrip at 10th.
Yeah, I just saw that.
And then that puts you up to 5 cantrips known, which I think is your max as a wizard. And I don't think you change them out. Like, it's not like other classes where even other classes that have a limit of spells known, you can change them out at a level up.
I thought I read that, though, which is weird, but I'll have to check into it again. I doubt you change them.
There's a feat that lets you, like, learn all the cantrips and change them out. I think it's a feat.
Okay. Well, I won't be taking that because that's too powerful.
Feats are, precious.
Right, back in a sec then. Good to go on the travels, though. Nothing else to do.
Absolutely. Tor, you are not accustomed to being bound and wrapped up and put to work like this. But needs must, and you suggested this plan.
Hey, we could have fucking roped up those sheep. Stuck them on the cart.
Hey, buddy.
Sheep powered.
Yeah. Really slower than walking.
You strain against the cart, and before long it is moving. It is moving steadily. And without too much strain, your shoulders are stronger than you are used to them being. Your feet are even against the ground, as though the road is built for you now.
Nice.
And you push against the earth, and the cart moves onwards. And you head, as you have seen, down towards the river, where a road persists, as it should do. Heading west along the beck towards Bedenreach. And this is not the King's Road. It is not the greatest path in the world, but you find it is well travelled. And there are spurts, and there are twists, and there are turns. Your proximity to the river beck comes and goes, changes, lifts. You are quickly aware of why the river travel is the quickest way through the landscape, as the ground undulates, as certain patches hold on to rain which you are sure has not fallen in days, and are muddy and puddly. Stretches of bog, but stretches otherwise furrowed and rutted with trailer and cart wheels from the last weeks of spring. And to your north, you spot a homestead, smouldering, burnt.